Okay, so we have that recorder rocking and rolling, so we're ready to go here. And again, just one last time, one last opportunity. If you're having any trouble whatsoever hearing, let me know now so I can take some action on that. But so far, it looks so good. So let me go ahead and get my screen active here as well. So we have a couple of things lined up to talk about today. A couple very, very important things, in fact. One of the most important factors when it comes to your lead generation is conversion of those leads. After you get the first half of the battle under your wings, so to speak, then we have to turn our attention to, okay, now that we know how to capture leads on demand, now how do we convert as many of those leads as humanly possible? And there's a couple of factors at play there that will determine how well your leads convert. And one of them is the tracking cookie. So we're going to talk about retargeting and tracking cookies, something that can boost your conversion just a tremendous amount, just a huge amount. We're also going to talk more about the bots. So for everyone who's already sent in their requirements, your bots have all been delivered. If you do not have your bot yet, then please let me know. Or if you want to create your bot, I can send you the logins. Just request them on Glip. Because we want to make sure that we get those ads going. So we're going to talk about bots. We're going to talk about placing ads and show you some other options and products out there that you can use for your Facebook ads. All right, so we have a lot of material to cover here, so let's go ahead and get started. So give me just one moment here. I'm going to get some tabs open. Give me just a moment here, and feel free, folks, if you have any questions based on what we've been chatting about over the past couple of weeks, then by all means, go ahead and pop those into the chat box there. Okay, you typically say first come, first served. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up a sample bot here just to kind of walk you guys through one that we've created recently. So that's what I'm opening up here in some tabs. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the deploy. And there we go. Okay, so I'm just showing this to you guys just so you get a good idea of what a finished bot looks like. Now this is a short bot. You can use long form or you can use short form. The difference is just, shorter forms are just how it sounds. You don't ask as many questions. Whereas the longer forms, you may ask 10, 15, 20 questions. It's entirely up to you, how many questions you want to ask, but as a general rule of thumb, if you can be conversational and engaging without going overboard with how many questions you ask, that is ideal. All right. So I'm going to point out a couple of important elements here in the bot, and then I'm going to show you how we did this within the bot creation software. Okay. And if you need logins to that, then just glip it to me, your request, and we'll get you login. So the first thing is you want an interesting name. Because what we're going for here is engagement. And keep in mind that it's all psychological. Because what we constantly hear one common excuse when it comes to why people don't do something. And that excuse is I don't have enough time. But you and I know as salespeople and as marketers that that's BS. That's crap. What people really mean to say is I don't value that particular action enough to make the time for it. Because we still know that the average American still watches in the double digit of hours each week of television. We do know that they spend double digit hours each week online. We know that they spend at least an hour and a half to 2 hours a day watching YouTube videos. We know that they make time for all of those things. So when people say they don't have enough time, that's not true. It's just, hey, I don't value or see enough value in what this is. It hasn't piqued my interest enough for me to make time for it. So that's why it may seem counterproductive that this is kind of chatty here at the beginning. some people look at this and say, well, that's a lot of text, isn't that going to have a negative impact on conversion? Well, not necessarily. Not if you're engaging and interesting. So that's why we have the whimsical names. This one here, the loan officer came up with the name Mortgage Whisperer, which I thought was brilliant. So I said, yes, you should definitely do that. Also, a disclaimer here letting them know that it's only going to take 2 minutes, because a lot of people, they fear to start a process when they think, oh, holy crap, this is going to take up a bunch of my time. But if you let them know right up front, this isn't going to take up much of your time, it's only going to take up 2 minutes, or 90 seconds, or whatever the case may be, then they say, okay, well, that's not much time, and it's kind of drawn me in a little bit here. So we make use of things such as bolding the font and underlining certain things that are very important. So for this one, for general purchase, this bot is designed to help people find out, well, how much down payment are you going to need to buy a home? So what's the number one thing that most people look for when they're going to do a mortgage? They don't want to have to pull out any more money out of pocket than humanly possible. And some people say, well, that gets you people with no money. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. That's only the case if you're not targeting, because even individuals with six-figure plus incomes, when we run ads to them, whenever we give them the option of, hey, you may qualify, or there are loans out there that are very low down payment or even no down payment, we always see a tremendous lift in conversion, because even people with money don't want to have to spend more out of pocket than they have to. So that's why this is underlined. So there really are low and even $0 down programs out there, but not everyone will qualify. So see, we want to be honest. We don't want to be misleading. We want to earn their trust, and we want to establish our credibility. So we let them know not everyone's going to qualify, but that's also giving them a reason why they need to fill this out, because they can't just make the assumption that, oh, hey, I'm going to get this. I need to find out if I qualify, right? So then the question itself that we're asking them, I need to know, how much do you think you'll spend on your new home? Okay, so boom. Okay, great. So this next question is, just your best guess, how would you rank your credit on a scale of 1 to 5 stars? Okay, boom. So you can see that was an interactive element. When it comes to low and no down payment home loans, a lot of what you are approved for has to do with what we call your debt to income ratio. Can you tell me more, or can you tell me what your average monthly before tax income is? Okay, so let's say the person's doing, I don't know, say 15,000. That would be about an ideal income range for this. Okay, do you currently or have you ever served in the military? Now watch this. Watch when I click on my answer for here, I don't have to hit the enter button. Now, I'm pointing that out for a couple reasons. Is the fewer steps that the person has to take, the better. Okay, so let me show you when it comes to editing the bot. Let's go ahead and head on over to the bot software. I want to show you how we do that, because typically what they would have to do is click one of the buttons and then click that send button. And if you can remove that step of the process, you actually convert more. So that's this option here, is when you go in to edit your bot, I'm just going to show you how I got here, is you just click on make if your bot's already created, and then you click on the step. They're called gambits. This one is step number 4. When I click on it, this window opens up and says, okay, you gave them the option of yes or no. Okay. If I scroll down, send on tap. That is the option that I clicked check on to make it so that as soon as somebody taps the button, they don't have to hit the send button again. So we're actually removing a step from the process, and then I click save. Okay. So again, it seems like such a tiny little detail, but it's these little tiny details that add up and boost your conversion rate. So whenever I give them button options, I always check that send on tap option so that they don't have to click that button. Okay. All right. So now we're going to start collecting their contact information. So we're almost done already. As I generate the results, where should I send them to? So I ask for their email address. Okay, so look at me being a rude bot by not even getting your name first. Haha. Who will I be sending these results to? Okay, so while not required, I do strongly recommend you fill this one in. I have the ability to text you results and or questions that may need to be answered to get you the most accurate information regarding down payment amounts needed. Emails easily get lost in all the spam you likely receive, but messages sent by text have a 98% success receive rate. So please enter a number I can reach you at or text you at below. So again, very, very, very important step here. And that is when we give people explanations as to why we're asking for their phone, we actually get legitimate phone numbers. Imagine that, right? If all I do is just ask them for their phone, then it's left to their imagination to decide, well, this person's probably going to bug me. They're probably going to call me. They don't even need my phone number anyways because they're just going to email it to me. So they rationalize all the reasons why they don't want to give you their phone number. So they're either just going to give you a crap phone number that's not real, or they're just going to skip this step altogether. I can make it required, but if I make it required, then and they see that, it's going to irritate them. They're just going to give me a dummy email address anyways. But when I give them a specific reason that says, look, I can email you, but I may have some important questions that I need to ask in order to actually get you answers to what you want answers to. So there's a strong possibility it's going to get lost in your spam. Whereas if I can just text it to you, it has a 98% success reach rate. I'm not going to spam you. I will not bug you. This will only be used for relevant questions and information. So I'm helping to put their mind at ease and giving them reasons why they should give me their phone number. And I'm specifically saying, hey, I'm going to text it to you as opposed to call you because that's less intimidating. And what I found is people respond very, very well by text. Very well by text. Almost 3 times the rate of email. Triple the response rate. Why would I not ask for that, right? So pretty darn cool, huh? So now when I fill this last one in, basically what's going to happen is it's going to redirect to a final page that basically just says success, blah, 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 and gives all the contact information of the loan officer. And then I have it on a timer. Watch this. I have it on a timer where it's actually going to redirect. So if you go to this option here, you go to end conversation when you're setting up your bot and click on auto page redirection and tell them, okay, after X amount of seconds, so I'm going to give them 20 seconds to read whatever I put here on this final page, and then it's going to automatically send them over to that loan officer's website or Facebook page or blog or lead form, wherever you want them to go. How cool is that? Now, I put a 20-second delay on there to give them enough time to read the information I put on there, which just basically said, oh, hey, I'm going to give you the, now if you have any pressing questions and want to talk to somebody right away, here's a loan officer I recommend. He's absolutely awesome. He's one of the best in the areas. And then I just put a little joke in there and go, haha, well, maybe he just programmed me to say that. So again, I just keep inserting a little bit of humor, here and there, just to make it more real, make it more engaging. But I'm giving them the name, email, phone number, and a web address they can click on. If they don't click on any of those things, within 20 seconds, it's going to redirect them. Now, you may decide, okay, I want to redirect them within 10 seconds. You may want to redirect them immediately. It's entirely up to you. But I just wanted you to see how a typical bot process works. This does not take long to set up if you want to start setting up your own bots. You can make as many, I don't care how many you make as many of them as you want. Because all I'm doing as I build the bot is I click this button up here to add what's called a gambit, click on it, make the bot say whatever I want it to say here, And oh, by the way, let me throw something else out there for you. These bubbles, these are the conversation bubbles. You can see how on some of the pages where there were multiple bubbles would open up. This to the left of them that says 1.0, this is your timer. That's basically you telling the system when you want this bubble to appear. So if you want it to appear more natural like a conversation, I may put time delays between when this first bubble appears, this bubble, and this bubble. So this one would appear at 1 second, this would appear at 1.5 seconds, this would appear at 5 seconds. So I can actually put delays on there, okay? Also, this little plus sign over here, if I want to add imagery, I can even add moving images like GIF images and so forth, which is pretty darn cool. All right, so just a couple extra things I wanted to show you there. And when I'm done creating it, if I want to change my color formatting, I can click on the design option here. And if I hover over each one of these little color palettes over here, this is the bot message bubble. So you can see here I made it just kind of this orangish type color for whatever the user, whatever your client's going to be typing is going to appear on the right-hand side with the blue color bubble. The chat background I left at a white. And then the page background, I put it a medium shade of gray. So all of this can be changed. In fact, you can even change it to a gradient, so a color fade instead of just a solid color if you like, and just kind of play around with that and then click save. One thing I want to point out is anytime you make any differences at all, you have to click deploy bot to send whatever changes you made to the live page, to your live bot. Okay? Configure is if I want to change the URL a little bit. So I made this URL downpayment.hellotars.com / and email notification. So I could tell the system where to email the leads when they're captured. And then when I'm done with all that, distributing, this is my link. It gives me my conversation bot link. Gives me a widget code if I want to embed this onto a website. And then I can click down here if I want to add it to Facebook. So I can add it to my Facebook Messenger account. All right. So how cool is that? All right. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So any questions, guys? Any questions at all before I move on? So I just wanted to show you guys this. Okay, David is asking, how do they trigger on your website and on Facebook? Okay, so let's take a look right here. It actually gives you a sample. So you saw the little icon showing in the lower right-hand corner, and then boom, it appears right here. So I didn't even have to click on it. So very simple. So if you're putting it on your website, you know, you control the greeting. Now, if you're using it on Facebook, at that point, it's built within Facebook Messenger. So when somebody chooses to send a message to your Facebook page, that's when instead of you having to reply manually, it will your bot will reply instead. And I'm going to show you some really cool examples of some other bots here that use some really unique approaches because I want you to start getting kind of you know, some creative thought processes. I think this will give you some ideas on how to get really, really creative with this because it's nuts when you really start to think about it. There's just so many crazy things you can do that will make you stand just head and shoulders above your competition and really stand out in your marketplace. But before I go to that, I just want to show you guys something. If you log in, when you get your username and password, if you haven't already, when you click to create a bot, I want you to keep in mind that you have templates to choose from. So I want you to explore those templates. because I can look at, here's an appointment booking bot, here's a frequently asked questions, here's an explainer bot, feedback bot, registration bot, lead generation bot. You have all these different bots. And then you have, if you want to use one of my bots, if I just wanted to clone a bot, like let's say you already have a bot and you want to make a second one just like it, but then just make some small changes to it without having to build it from scratch. Check this out. You don't have to keep building each bot from scratch. I can clone it in seconds just by clicking on the bot, come down here, and then I scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page and just click Use This Template. Boom. And when I click that, it's actually going to clone. So it says taking you to your bot. Boom. Check it out. So it completely clones that bot. All the gambits are already built. So now that might be a quicker way for you to hammer out bots. I mean, I can literally create an all new bot in about 5 or 6 minutes by doing this instead of just creating each bot from scratch. I can just start cloning already created bots and then just going in and making small edits to them instead of always building them from scratch, right? So that'll save you a ton of time. Don't forget to rename your bot as well. So you can do that under your configure option right up here. So your conversation bot title, your page title, make sure that you always change this and then give it a fresh URL. Okay? So that makes sense? Pretty cool, huh? All right. Good, good, good. Okay, so one other thing I'm going to point out is, again, you want your bot to email you whenever a lead is captured, but I do want to point out that it will only email you when somebody fills out your entire form. If somebody abandons it halfway through, the way TARS is set up now, it won't email you. Now, I've already been in talks with the developer to change that, so they're maybe a week or two away from changing that to where there'll actually be an option for it to actually email you even if somebody doesn't fill out the full lead form. But for now, basically what that means is when I log in, all I do is click on check data, and full data is it keeps a running tab of every lead captured, so I can export it to an Excel spreadsheet, or I can just click view all the leads. But full data is already emailed to you automatically by the system. Partial data is when people abandon halfway through without filling out the whole thing. So I just check in from time to time and just view that data or export it and make sure that I don't have any good leads that maybe somebody just didn't answer the final question or two. Okay. And again, I know that's frustrating that it works that way now, but I already have them fixing that within the next couple of weeks, so soon you won't even have to log in to check that either. All right, so yeah, that solution is on the way because that's just annoying to me. So I made sure that they are working on it. All right, awesome. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to open up some interesting bots to start getting your creative juices flowing. Now watch some of these creative, very creative uses of making a very engaging bot. Watch this. Check this out. So here we go. So here's an example of somebody inserting a GIF image. So instead of a static image, and you can get free GIFs online anywhere, right? You have websites that have hundreds of thousands of them where you just type out the type of expression you're looking for and it inserts it right in there. So again, you can see how this is a little sassy. You know, it has some personality shining through, and it's asking for my name. Okay, so choose from below. Now let's go ahead and pause here. All right. How might you use this approach? Why, the reason I'm showing this to you is because I want to get your creative juices flowing into how you can appear to be unique. So why don't you guys tell me in the chat box Does this give you any ideas? If so, what? What do you glean just from what you've seen here already in some, what's unique about this outside of just the moving images um, that kind of keep you engaged and go, okay, well, that's kind of clever. Um, but check out the buttons here. We got yes, I was born ready, or no, I'm scared I'll fail. So let's see what happens when I click there. All right. So again, they're kind of making a joke out of it. And then they're giving me an option to where I can actually share this on Facebook and share it on Twitter. So Tammy says, yeah, but and Pete says it challenges the user. Exactly. Um, and Tammy says, what I like is while it's a bot, you've given it a lot of personality. So I'm really loving this AI. Exactly. So it's got a lot of personality. It's challenging them, but also look at this. We can make it viral. So again, in my experience, only about 5 to 10% of people are actually going to click and share when they're done with your tool, right? But still, let's say you get um, through running your ads, let's say you get 100 people through this month. That's 5 to 10 people who thought enough of it to say, hey, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and share this on Facebook because I know somebody that's in the market, right? How cool is that? Because people typically have, I mean, look at the average person on Facebook has hundreds of followers. So when they share it, it's not as if they're just sharing with one person. That's hundreds of people that potentially, or even thousands, that can see it. And it's the same with Twitter. So this is extremely valuable that they've incorporated this. And again, it's a little bit of humor here, and like Pete said, it's definitely challenging. So let's reload it and let's go the opposite direction now. So that's correct, Dave. So yeah, you can use this exact same approach. You can mimic this perfectly to ask people to find out what they qualify for. So okay, so now I click yes, I was born ready. Okay, so now it's puzzles. So count the F's in the following sentence. So this isn't meant to be a traditional lead capture mechanism. This is what's called a puzzle bot. But my reason for showing it to you is because think about it from a standpoint of mortgage loans and the types of bots you can create. Like find out, how do you compare to the average home buyer? How much do you really know? You know, test your mortgage and house buying IQ. And then quiz them just like this. So this one's asking me to read this sentence and then count the F's in the following sentence. So let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I got 6. Okay, so now it's complimenting me. So wow, what a genius. You got all of them, blah, blah, blah. So again, flattery from the bot. But wait, there's more. Okay. All right, so this was just an example. So does that maybe get some creative ideas going for you on how you can utilize a bot? So I think this was a very, very clever demonstration here that these guys created. Let's take a look at another one. So now I'm actually going over to a legal website. And also I want you to see this because I want you to see just how many websites, even travel websites, like really big, multi-million-dollar travel websites are using the exact same technology now. It's becoming more and more in use because of just how well it's working and boosting conversion. Now check this one out. This is actually a lead generation bot being deployed by legal pundits. Okay. So, hi there, this is Ramjet. Awesome to connect. What describes you best today? Now, tell me that this doesn't get your thought processes rolling here. Because imagine on your website, you probably want something that's a little more flexible as opposed to hyper-targeted on something like just low down payment or something along those lines. So what if instead of focusing on one thing, when you're going to put a bot on your website, as opposed to just use it as a landing page, you would want to create a bot that asks them a similar question. So, hey, tell me what's on your mind today? And I might have one here that says, hey, I'd like to see if I could refinance my house and lower my payment. Or, hey, I need some cash out to refi. I'm purchasing a home. I haven't found a home yet, but I'm curious about blah, blah, blah. I'd like to find out how much down payment I really need. Or I have concerns about my credit and want to know more about what loans I might be approved for or how much I can afford. Give them options and let them tell you. Okay, so I'm going to put here, okay, so I'm an entrepreneur. My favorite type of person, now choose from below. So they're using branching. So that's the branching feature within your bot. So now that I've chosen entrepreneur, I've told the bot, okay, so these are the things that are related to an entrepreneur. So are you looking for a business plan? Do you want some templates? Do you want to find out more about taxes? Do you need help with funding your business idea, or do you need a lawyer? Okay, so I might say, I don't know, let's just say business plan for the heck of it. Now see, what I don't like here is that I have to push the button and then I have to click. Personally, I would have used the feature where it sends on the click of the button that I talked about earlier. So now it's asking for my name. So it's collecting that information up front. Okay, so now it's admonishing me and telling me, hey, we need your full name. Okay, so it's giving me an option to skip. So that's kind of cool. So how did it know that I just gave my first name and that what it really needed was full information there? How did it know that? Well, let's go back over to our bot. And let's show you that particular feature. All right. So I went back over to the bot tab. And let's say that I'm doing a text input. All right. So here it is right here. User input validation. Whenever you are using the text input option as opposed to buttons, you have what's called user input validation. Now I can select, do I want to validate that they gave their full name? Do I want to validate that they actually gave an email? So when I select this one here, it's basically looking for the @ and the .com. So if they type out anything like some sort of spoof, like XYXYXY100 or something like that, it's going to know that that's not an email address, and mobile number validator, so it's going to validate that as well. There's actually software on the web that can verify if something's an actual mobile number. So there's databases that can be tapped into. So that's basically what I'm looking at here. So, or I just have it set by default. By default, it's set at no validation. Okay, but if you want to go in here and select one of these, you can. Okay. I can also use my input type. There we go. Perfect. All right, so you seeing how simple this can be. It doesn't need to be difficult. Okay, so now it's asking for my email. So again, hopefully this gave you some good ideas. In this case, we're looking at branching, that branching feature and the validation feature. Now let's look at another sample bot here. So it looks like this one here is for parkour. So again, you got the humor where showed the picture of her first and said, okay, not really, I'm just a bot, but you can just call me Courtney Bot. The good news is I can help you while the real Courtney is sleeping. Is this the first time you've been to our page? So again, with the questions. So what's the point? What's the power of these questions up front? Well, it's validation, isn't it? It's qualification. It's asking them to self-qualify. What are you here for, right? So is this the first time you've been here? Yes. Again, with the two buttons, I would have had it set so that just clicking one button does it. Are you looking for something specific? Now, I like this question because sometimes you get people who are just on your page browsing. Sometimes you get people that are there for something specific. Now, when you're running Facebook ads, you know why they're there, right? Because you're the one that chooses what the ad says, and you want there to be continuity between the ad and what they see on your landing page, in this case, the bot. However, if you're creating a bot that's just for your home page, just for your website, there may be a couple of reasons why they're there. So again, well, okay, if they just want to browse, what is this? Just tell me a little bit more about what you do, or yes, I'm here for something specific. So what happens when I click yes? Okay, sweet. Choose from below. Trying a free class, birthday parties, summer camp, I need a waiver, class scheduling, or something else. See how it's narrowing us down, and it's forcing me to qualify. So if I choose something else, what happens? Okay, cool. I'll take you to our Contact Us page, and you can ask us anything you want. Thank you for stopping by. So I'm assuming they have it set on a redirect. Yep, you see how it auto redirected me? So the bot took me automatically. I did not touch my mouse. It just automatically redirected me to the Contact Us page where I can get in touch. Pretty cool, huh? So, I see a question. Okay, so can we direct people via email and link to our bot? Yeah. Once you have that link, you can use that link anywhere. So yeah, you could insert that link into an email. Heck, I mean, you could even link directly, on your YouTube videos. You can obviously put them in a Facebook post. Use them wherever you like. All right. So that was yet another really cool example. But let's go back to the bot real quick. So I just reloaded the page. So there's the real Courtney. Here's the Courtney bot. So this time, if I'm going to narrow things down, are you looking for something specific? Let's see. Let's just say, what if we say no? What is it that you do? Okay. So this can be extremely helpful when you're setting up a bot. Something similar where individuals have questions about particular types of loans, perhaps, so, hey, having an option on this is tell me a little bit more about, government loans or VA loans, USDA loans. I'm a first-time home buyer. What are my options? Tell me more about it. So this bot's being very informational. So it asks at the end, does that help? So for those of you who were asking last week, well, how do I make my bot more interactive, in that, I'm trying to get people answers to their questions. Well, basically what this is doing is it's narrowing down what they're trying to find out, gives them information, and then by asking, does that help? If I click not really, then it's obviously going to give me other options or redirect me to certain pages on the website or even a video that would tell me more about what you do. Okay. But if I just go ahead and click yes, let's see what they have this set to do. So awesome. Okay, so awesome. Well then, I think the best thing I can suggest is trying a free class with us. How's that sound? Yes, if it's free, it's for me. Okay? No thanks. I think I'll just look around on your website. So see how it's kind of pushing me towards something specific, towards a specific goal. So if I click yes, if it's free, it's for me. Okay, so I'm interested in a class for adults. So now it's asking about location. So now it's sending me specifically to a page on the website for scheduling classes. Boom. So now I can come in, pick my class, and get signed up. So basically the bot operated almost like a salesperson, like an automated salesperson in that instance. So do you guys, again, are you starting to get some cool ideas going? Are you starting to see how you can wield this tool as a lead generator? If you like, I can give you the links to these sample bots in Glip so you can play around with them yourself and use them as idea generators, because there's the options are absolutely endless in what you can do with a bot like this. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, guys, so that's what I wanted to talk about in regards to the bots. But we also have some Facebook stuff to talk about today. So I'm going to get some fresh tabs open again. Give me just a moment. Okay, I'm heading over to Facebook now. Let's get the tabs. Go to Manage Ads. Okay. So within Facebook, when you go to your Ads Manager, I want you to click up here at the top left where my cursor is and click on Ads Manager, click on All Tools. All right. When you go to All Tools, you should see a similar banner, Expand, and we're going to go to Pixels. All right. So what we're going to do with our pixels is we're going to click to create an ad. Or I'm sorry, not create an ad. I should have my create pixel there. Now yours is going to look different than mine because I've already created my pixel. Okay. But I do have a setup pixel option here. And yours may look a little bit different depending on what part of the country you're in. Doing copy and paste code. So again, you may have a green button up here that says create pixel. Some parts of the country it's a gray button, or you may have a clickable link. If you have neither, then just look for setup pixel, because that might mean that you have utilized your pixel in the past. But what the tracking pixel is for, guys, is that's what is going to allow us to retarget. So most of you by now know what retargeting is, but if by chance you're a little fuzzy on that, retargeting is when somebody clicks and goes to your landing page. When they go to your landing page and they do not take action, guess what happens? Well, we drop a little tracking cookie on them. And that tracking cookie means that on demand, you can actually deploy fresh ads to that individual. Drops them into what's called a custom audience. And that custom audience means that I know, hey, here are the people that were interested enough to go to my website, but perhaps they didn't take that next step. So now I know that there was some interest there. And oftentimes when somebody goes to a page but they don't take action, it doesn't mean that they're a bad lead. It doesn't even mean they're not interested, especially in this industry. Oftentimes what it means is that the timing was just off. Or maybe they were at work and their boss turned the corner and they weren't on their lunch break, so they hurry up and exited out. We don't know why they didn't follow through and give you their information. But retargeting is one of those rare instances where you have an opportunity to take a second swing at the bat, a third swing at the bat, a fourth swing at the bat. This is how we boost conversion. In fact, we can even retarget those individuals that filled out your lead form and gave you their information but maybe didn't respond when you followed up with them. So instead of just avoiding them and just assuming, hey, that's a bad lead, no, we're going to show them fresh ads, but we're going to give them a little bit of a break and maybe give them a week or two and then show them some new ads, right? And we're going to show them some slightly different calls to action. Because, hey, if you know that they're looking to buy homes, why not show them some actual homes for sale? You know, if you're working with a realtor partner, we can actually show them some homes. Get them to take that next step. Show them things that are interesting and relevant, right? Okay. So what I need you to do, guys, is this is what you want to do. You're just going to come down here. You don't want to change this code at all. You're just going to copy it. And then I want you to paste it in a document. And I want you to send it over to me. Send it on over to me. You can even email it if you want down here. Click email instructions. But otherwise, just copy this code. No changes. Don't modify it in the least bit. And send it over to me. I'll install it on your landing pages for you. Okay, so we're going to make it easy. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Scrolling through if we have any questions. All right. Okay. And what'll happen, and as you go along, you can actually click to create an audience. So watch this. Doing 180 days. Got my caps lock. Now I can actually put the URL of my bot right here. How cool is that? So just copy and paste my bot URL, put it here. Let me go ahead and do that right now. Go grab that. Boom. Got it. Okay, now let me grab my tab, go back to where I was. Leave. Just gonna find what page I was on here. There we go. So you'll notice the selections that I've made here is I've told Facebook, I've clicked this drop-down box and just not, instead of saying all website visitors, only people who have visited the specific web page. Now, if I wanted to, I could further refine, so frequency or, only if they're on specific devices, I could include more, blah, 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 but in this case, I just want people who, and instead of contains, I put equals. So in other words, only people who have gone specifically to this one web page. And then I create it as an audience. Okay. Now I have a custom audience ready. So what a custom audience is then next time I come in to place an ad, I could actually come in here and say, okay, Facebook, anybody who's gone to this specific page, I want to run ads to them. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So I'm going back to my bot page. So I'm going back to my admin. Give me just a moment here, folks. I do see some questions just came over, so don't worry, guys. I'll definitely get to those in just a moment. There we go. One second here. I'm getting a bunch of questions here. So just sending an individual response. Okay. Yeah, Tammy. Okay, so let's start with Tammy's question. Do you have a YouTube video that teaches Facebook pixels? I'm very new to this. Okay, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, guys, I can insert some videos into GLIP for you that explain tracking pixels. So it go really in depth for you. So yeah, it's definitely something that is very powerful, and it just completely changes the options available to you. Now, here's why tracking pixels are so freaking important. Facebook made an announcement just this week that they are getting ready to roll out a brand new ad product, a new option available to you when you're running your Facebook ads, and it's absolutely crazy what it allows you to do. So let's see if you guys, if this just blows your minds, or if you just think, well, how do I use that? Check this out. So what it's going to allow you to do is, let's say, well, let's first explain one option you already have in Facebook, and that is that you have the capability already within Facebook to upload either phone numbers or email addresses. from your database. And then you can, what happens is when you upload those to Facebook Ads Manager, Facebook will actually track down and see if they have Facebook profiles and create an audience that you can then run ads to them. So let's say I have past clients that refinanced with me 5 years ago. Well, let's say I have 150 of those people in my database. Okay. Well, I could take those 150 people, take their email addresses or their phone numbers, either or even both, upload them to Facebook, and Facebook will find their profiles and allow me to run ads to them, to just those 150 people, which is cool. Same thing with maybe I bought a bunch of leads or had a bunch of leads in the past, but they never really turned into anything. Well, again, if I want to upload them to Facebook and find their Facebook profiles and run ads to them to see if they ever did anything, then I can. So that's a feature that you can do right now. But the new feature that Facebook just announced this week is this. Let's say I'm doing the same thing. Let's say I'm taking my entire database of past clients and I'm uploading them to Facebook. And I also maybe bought some leads that never really turned into anything. I'm going to upload those as well. When you upload those and Facebook finds their profile, they now know who resides in that household. That's right. Facebook knows who their spouses are, their children, parents, whatever. So I could actually tell Facebook, okay, these are the people who filled out lead forms but never really took action, so I want to show ads to their husband or to their wife, their spouse, essentially. Boom. Facebook knows who their spouses are and will allow you to show them the ads. I mean, how freaking crazy is that? Because think about it. How many times do you get a husband and wife team, right? Even realtors always say, hey, why do they push so hard to do the showings on the weekends? Because they want both the husband and the wife there, not just one or the other. Because oftentimes it takes two to make a decision, right? And sometimes you have one person that's more action taker than the other. So if you get somebody who filled out a form about buying a new home but never took action, instead of just bugging that person, now you'll be able to show ads to their spouse instead and maybe light a fire a little bit. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? And that's one of the new features that you'll be able to use with custom audiences. So, and it's not just the leads that you capture, but it's when you drop those cookies as well. And that's why we want to use those tracking cookies, because they're just so darn powerful. Yes, Janie, absolutely. Absolutely. We will. That is something that we will be helping you guys with. Okay. So yeah, don't worry about it, guys. Anytime, remember, anytime you need, you're never with this mastermind. At no point are you ever by yourself. If something goes over your head or you feel like you need assistance with something, all you got to do is send me a direct message on GLIP. All right? That's all you got to do. We are here to help you, even if that means getting a little hands-on. Okay? All right. So with your tracking pixel, again, you don't need to worry about installing it and doing all of that stuff. All you need to do is just come in and do just click to set up your pixel, and then just copy and paste it. So basically you're just clicking a couple buttons, really. So the way that I got to it, because I see somebody had asked, okay, how'd you get there again? So what I did was when I logged into my Facebook Ads Manager, I just clicked where you have these three horizontal lines that are stacked on top of each other in the top left corner. So I just clicked there to expand my options, and I went to Pixels. And then on this page, you should either have, mine says create an ad, but if you've never created a pixel before, you will probably have one that says create pixel. If you do not, and the only reason I say that is because Facebook ads dashboards are not the same across the country. Facebook has different regions and tests and tweaks things just slightly a little bit from region to region, so yours might look a little bit different than mine. You may also just need to go straight to a button that says set up pixel. But either way, just look for something that says to set up your pixel. and that's what you're going to click on. And you're just going to use the copy and paste the code option. And that's it. Now you just copy the code and paste it, or if you've never set one up before, there may be some additional instructions on the page. Okay? But either way, don't screw around with the code. You're just going to copy it and you're going to paste it. Send it over to me, and I'll be happy to install it for you. All right, makes sense? Awesome, guys. Okay. Now let's go to question time here. If you guys have any questions at all, now is the time to ask. This doesn't necessarily just have to be about today. If you have any questions about anything that we've covered up until now, now is the time to ask. And don't be afraid. There's no such thing as a bad question, a dumb question. No. I understand that a lot of you folks are new to this. So, all right, I appreciate that. So, Janie, yeah, how's your dad? Still in the hospital, unfortunately. So, but at least we're out of ICU. So that's definitely big progress there. But yeah, he's still not able to stand without passing out. So so that part's a little scary. You know, it's been over a week now, but you know, I'm just glad that you know, we're out of ICU for now, and hopefully we'll be at a point where, you know, he can get out by this weekend is kind of the goal. So yeah, just keeping positive on that. So thanks for asking. Okay, are we creating our own Facebook ad, or is that something that your team does? So yeah, David, I am definitely happy to help create those ads. So you can either create the same ad or similar that we used in the replays from the previous weeks, or if you're doing something a little more niche, then all you got to do is send a quick message over on Glip, and I can even have that set up for you. Okay. So if you that was one of the things that we offer is, you know, for your first ad campaign, you know, we will even set that up for you. All you got to do is make sure that we are an administrator, set as an administrator on your account. Okay, so Pete is getting a blank screen after clicking on the copy and paste option. So my Facebook has been a bit screwy though. Yeah, a couple things there, Pete. Sometimes Facebook does get a little goofy. My recommendation is when that happens, try doing it in a different browser. I'm just going to go ahead and say this to everybody. I rarely will ever open Facebook Ads Manager in Internet Explorer. Okay, I know I have it open in Explorer right now, but that's just because my other page had over 80 tabs, as you probably already saw. There's actually 80 tabs open, so if I would have opened another one, it actually, all my tabs would have just went flush on the screen, so I just opened up a fresh browser. Yeah, at any given time I usually have at least 100 tabs open between 3 different browsers. So, but I almost always use either Firefox or Google Chrome, because the flakiest browser out there with Facebook's dashboard is Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge. So, and yeah, I'm more than happy to. I'll go ahead and I'll put some training videos out there for you. There's some really good videos out there on the market. I'd be more than happy to paste those into Glip for you guys that explain the Ads Manager a bit more for you. So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Taya, basically what I recommend is, yeah, that you just click to create a custom audience. So after you've set up your pixel, you just click to create an audience, and then you just basically do as I did here. Now this right here, the first thing that you change when you open this window to create an audience is change that 30 to 180 days. So it's basically essentially 6 months. That's the longest that your tracking pixel will track those people. But I mean, heck, that's awesome. I mean, that's half a year that it will track them. So, and then we change all web visitors to people who have visited specific web pages. And then you change URL contains to URL equals, and then just paste the link to your landing page and give it a name and click to create audience. That's it. That's all you got to do. But you're going to need to link to your landing page first. So make sure you either have your bot already or your original landing page that I created during the first week and a half that we were talking. Okay. So if anybody needs those links reset to them, just let me know. So good question. Yeah, and let me show you guys how the whole custom audience thing works. Watch this. So let's say I go back to Ads Manager again. And let's say I click to create an ad. So I'm going to do a traffic ad. June 2017. Now, do you recall that previously when we were setting up our target, we would put in like a target city or state and age brackets and all this and that. When you're using a custom audience that you drop tracking cookies on for retargeting purposes, instead of doing all this down here, you can skip it all and just click up here and do a saved audience or a custom audience. So in this case, I can do low down payment, boom, boom, boom. Heck, I have loan officers here that went to specific webinars. Okay, these are all loan officers who have bought from me. So yeah, I mean, look, that's 2,400 people. I can just click on it and say, okay, yeah, I want to show ads to these people who bought a specific product from me. In this case, you would do people who responded to a specific landing page, a specific call to action or a specific bot even. But you have a whole segment here for your custom audiences. You just click on it, and it's going to drop down. Okay, so now I don't have to screw around with targeting options. I just go and say, okay, I'm just going to retarget these as specific individuals that I created a custom audience for. Very, very awesome. So next time that we connect, I'm actually going to show you guys how to capture leads without a landing page at all. Okay, that's the lead ads product down here. So this is really cool because it actually self-populates. It pulls the data and information directly from their Facebook profile. So they actually don't have to fill out anything. They just click on your ad. It's pre-populated with their information, name, email, phone number, which is accurate because otherwise they wouldn't have a Facebook account. And then they just click the submit button. How cool is that? So that's what we're going to do next time we meet. Also, I got some really cool fresh ads to show you guys. The top performing ads in the country right now. Okay, so I got that data feed ready for you. We're actually going to review those ads together. I'm going to teach you how to deploy these new types of ads with that don't even need a landing page at all. You don't need a landing page, nothing. You just pull the information directly from their Facebook profile. So they just click a couple buttons and boom, lead captured. All right. Awesome, awesome. Okay. So I also want to, we do need to start talking follow-up here with you guys here soon as well. So if there's anybody that does not have a follow-up process in place now, that's important to know. If you don't have an autoresponder or a database or a CRM, that's definitely going to slow you down. Okay, that's something that every loan officer needs to have, because otherwise that means you have to respond manually to every single lead that you capture. If you want to boost your conversion, you need instantaneous follow-up, and that's what autoresponders and CRMs and databases are designed for, right? So that's something that we're going to be going over as well. What I recommend, here, let's just go ahead and let's discuss that now. What I recommend is a lot of people say, well, what CRM do you recommend? Actually, none, or at least not out of the gate anyways. I mean, maybe as you grow at some point, you might want to use one, but here's what I recommend instead, because it's cheap, simple to use, and does 95% of what a CRM does. And it's full of automations and whatnot. Active Campaign. Okay. Now check this out. When you go to their pricing, it's a little tricky at first because watch what happens. It shows the cheapest account is only $17. But if I come over here to the left and I bump that down to 500 contacts, you can get in for just $9. And then as you grow and you get more than 500 leads, contacts in the system, then you can expand to the $17 a month. Okay, and then that bumps you up to 1,000 contacts. And then, you can just kind of grow it from there, as you go along. But keep in mind that this is hands down one of the best things you can do for growing your business is to have automated follow-up. And the reason I recommend Active Campaign is because it's an email autoresponder system, but it has things such as lead scoring and it does all sorts of things, guys. It automates, follow-up, tracks their behavior, and based on what they do, will drop them into specific funnels. I mean, it's just a really, really cool piece of software, but it's super easy to use. So I will show you guys how to use it. Okay? So that's something that we're going to be covering soon because I need you guys to start automating your follow-up because this can triple or even quadruple your conversion once we get this under control. A lot of loan officers have trouble getting their follow-up and automation under control because it just seems such a huge mountain of a task. I'm going to break this down into some easy processes and steps so that way we can just get this all hammered out so that way you'll have this set up as automated forever. Okay, so it's cheap, it's easy to use, way easier than a CRM, but does 95% of what a CRM does without being overly complicated. Okay, so does that make sense? All right, awesome. Just give me just a second, guys. I'm scrolling through the questions. Okay, David, so yeah, you sent over your pixel. And Chad, can we use a bot to follow up? Yeah, actually, that's some creative thinking. Now, you absolutely can. Absolutely. As far as having an email sent and then sending them over to another bot, that's definitely a possibility. Okay, so yeah, I'm checking my email now to see if your pixel came through. So give me just a moment. Okay, I'm not seeing that I received it yet. No. Okay, so yeah, I would you might want to just send it on Glip as well. So that might work. All right, perfect. Okay, guys, so that should wrap us up for today. So I hope that gave you a lot of really neat things to think about and some really cool examples. And if anybody is not making use of the bots yet, you really should because I think you're going to love it. This is something that, again, you can make as many bots as you want. And you could there's enough there to keep you busy for the whole rest of the year. All right. So, and you're early enough to the game to where you're going to be unique in your marketplace using it. All right. So it's engaging, it's creative, it gets people to stick around longer, and you're going to capture more leads because of it. All right, because of the fact that they're sticking around longer too, that means you can get a better sense and idea of who they are, what they're looking for as well. The more questions somebody answers, the better the lead typically, right? So that's what the whole idea behind the bot. Okay, awesome guys. So let me know on Glip if you have any questions or need me to take a look at anything or analyze anything for you, or any of that fun stuff. If you don't have your bot set up yet, again, let's get that taken care of so we can deploy the bot ads. Or if you do already have your bot and you need some assistance getting an ad set up, then let me know that as well. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to help you guys get this rolling. So I'll talk to you guys next time. So I will be posting, like I said, starting next week. We're going to have more solid times that we're meeting. So I know it's been a little hectic for the past 2 weeks, just because of the whole hospital situation. So again, about 90% of my free time has been spent up there. So yeah, that's been kind of rough and difficult with my schedule. However, if everything goes well this weekend, then everything should return to normal scheduling wise next week, and I'll go ahead and put out a calendar for you guys, so that way it'll be easier for you to know what you have upcoming as far as meetings and agenda. All right. Awesome, guys. So let me know on Glip. Let's get rolling, get these bots out there, and capture some leads. All right. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye now.